Hello and welcome to the VGC Trainer School podcast where we focus on the competitive side of Pokemon. Whether you're a ladder scholar or a newcomer to VGC, we'll help you learn classes in session. I am Spicer and I am joined today by CloverBells. How are you doing today, CloverBells?
We're doing all right. We're doing all right. How's it going? Thanks for
Oh,
inviting me.
yeah, thanks for coming on. We were also supposed to be joined by AOX, but he is on the other side of the world in the land of sleep. And he didn't make it tonight, unfortunately. Rip.
Yeah, Sleepy Boy.
Yeah. We will continue on in his memory. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Do you prefer to go by CloverBells when you're in this realm, or do you prefer like your first name or something?
Yeah, well, some people who know me, they personally they call me Joe. That's totally fine. Or you can just refer to me as Clover, Clover Either way, I don't prefer any one more than the other. It's totally fine depending on what is more comfortable for said person.
Cool. Thank you, Joe CloverBells. Um,
That's what Victory Road called me when they put up my team there. I was like, oh, okay.
they said Joe CloverBells.
Yes, exactly.
That's funny.
I was like, all right, I'll take it.
Cool. Well, thanks for being on. So, in case anyone is brand new, I own the VGC Trainer School server, and I've been taking over this podcast for a while after it was first started up by Pokemon and Beer, also known as Jake. He had to take a break after having his second kid, and his life got more busy. So I decided to take over because what else am I doing? Why not? I think it's fun to do.
No, no kids for you?
No kids for me. No,
Oh,
no. I am just not ready for that sort of thing in my life yet, but mad respect for everybody who is. What about you?
no, no, nothing on this side. Right now we got other things that are substituting as kids on our end. Right, we
Right.
do.
Pokemon plushies, I get it.
Oh, yeah, we can go with that. Sure.
No, I'm sure like dogs and
Absolutely.
cats, those are the best.
I don't even have those either.
What do you got?
Well, not pets, but just what we do during the day. We do a lot more than just Pokemon content.
Right.
Yeah, we're a teacher during the day. So
Oh,
that,
nice.
yeah, that eats up a lot of our time. And
What kind
on
of
the
teaching do you do?
on science, so I do AP classes. I also teach uh a chess class, and more on that in terms of VGC later. I also do robotics on the side.
So you're like
Okay.
a high school or college teacher?
Yeah, exactly. We're at the high school level.
Nice.
But we don't only do that. I'm also a basketball coach. A lot of people, some people know that, others don't, depending on how well they know me. But I don't have any regional titles like VGC. But what I do have is I do have two back-to-back championships. Uh, and we're the defending champs. So we're looking for the three-peat. I
Oh, in
guess,
basketball?
yeah, exactly. I'm a coach, right?
Nice.
I'm a coach. Yeah.
You
So
really are multifaceted.
yeah. So I guess in VGC terms, we can call that, winning, back-to-back regionals, looking for a third. That's really
That's
what it comes down
awesome.
to. Yeah, and then whatever time I got left, that's where, we put out to the YouTube channel, right? A lot of you guys know me for that. And then when we're not doing that, then I can do household things or hang out with friends or whatever. It's I do have to like manage my time quite a bit because again, teachers one of those jobs where you got to bring your work home too.
Oh
Your
yeah.
day never ends after the final bell, as we say, because then I put on the whistle, and even then after the whistle is blown, the final whistle is blown, then I gotta do other things, right? Along with
Yeah,
the
that's really
Pokemon stuff.
awesome.
So yeah.
You've chosen to have a lot of responsibilities. I respect that.
Oh yeah. The hustle.
Yeah, like speaking of the hustle, that's what's been making it tough for me to do this podcast as much as I would like to. No kids yet, no basketball teams, but just working a lot still. I'm doing a home inspector apprenticeship. I'm working at a bar. I'm busy. I also started a death metal band with my friends recently.
This is a
So
lot. This is probably just as much as me.
yeah. Yeah, so life happens, and I honestly have not had a lot of time for my own VGC-ness. I like to go to regionals, so I did go to Sacramento. I had a great time with like my friends, all like seven of us who flew there together, and had a good time. I went 3-5, so I didn't do very good, but like I also didn't really prep very much, and that's on me, but I still had a great time, and I still think these events are like worth going to, even if you're not like a top cutting or whatever. Even though
I
3-5 is the worst I've ever done, I still had a great time, and there was a lot of matches where I felt like I was so close to winning. I can't believe I ended 3-5. But
Hey, listen, you got the experience, and I haven't gone to one myself because I'm too busy doing the teaching the basketball thing. But one of
yeah.
these days, I always tell myself I gotta make it out to at least one regional. There's just no way I can play and teach VGC and not even go to one regional myself, right?
I don't blame
Oh
you at
man,
all. I feel the same way, and I just chose Sacramento to be that one regional for me. This is the only thing I was planning to go out to for this whole year. I'm not like world chasing. Just my like it was like my vacation for the year, and then you know
vacation.
I know, right? Some
Uh,
vacation where I'm
we
stressed the F out for like half the time.
I think we have a different definition of vacation.
I do have a lot of fun, and then I get to see like another place, go out with friends. Though it was still fun. It's like it is a vacation, just a stressful vacation.
I see.
But
Okay.
anyway, in the news for VGC right now, we're kind of at the later end of Reg H. We're going back into Reg G. Some people are stoked about that. Some people are not stoked about that, to put it lightly. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I'm fine with either one.
Yeah,
I as a coach at the competitive level, I never complain about another team or whatever's in front of me. I only worry about what I can do. So for me, I never ever complain because you can't do anything about it. The rules are the rules. Yeah, it is what
yeah,
it is. So it doesn't make sense. Oh, I don't want to play this or I hate this. Well, listen, if you're gonna play the game, you have to learn and you have to adapt to it.
true.
So it doesn't make sense for me to complain. I just learn it. It's either you
Yeah,
learn it or you're just going to whine. That's the way I
true.
view it. I put my big boy pants on, I get in the lab, and we work. All right, we figure it out, and then we play.
Yeah, adapting to the meta is one of the most important aspects of the game. And personally, I don't mind Reg G or Reg H. I haven't minded any regulation, any rule set in all of VGC since
No.
I started playing at the beginning of Gen 8. But yeah, it's always a good time to me. I just know some people are pretty passionate about that. So just wanted to see where you were at. But like, yeah, I love Reg H. Maybe like it just a little bit more just because I think Series 12 and Gen 8 like kind of burned me out of like the Ubers, and this we're seeing a lot of returning Ubers from the last generation anyway. So it just feels like a lot of the same, but I still have a great time. I still really like that because it also is one of the rare chances in VGC where we have a very matured meta. There's a lot of material to like reference, and we all have a lot of experience with it, so makes it unique. Reg H is just new hotness for a while. It's been a lot of fun. The only thing I would do to perfect it was somehow nerf Dire Hit on Sneasler. I
Dire
don't know.
Claw.
Yeah, I always
Dire Hit
say
is the
that.
item.
I know it's like one Pokemon thing, and I literally say it every time instead. If that move just didn't have sleep, I would be fine. The paralysis sucks, but like at least it's not you can't do anything for 3 turns. And I got slept hard in Sacramento by Dire Claw.
You-
And I guess that's on me. I mean, I literally had an Electabuzz on my team. I mean, feel like I was doing the most, but wasn't enough.
Yeah, listen,
Um,
that's why that thing was rising, and that's also where Magmar was really good for that. Just redirect any of that. By the way, just a little small joke here. You know who else doesn't like sleep? per se, or is getting a lot of it right now, I should say.
AOX.
Exactly. There you go. Sorry,
I think
AOX, just why I had to throw that one in there.
I think AOX got hit by a dire clot.
Yeah, he
Otherwise,
did.
he would have made it for sure.
It looks like it's a lot more than 3 turns, though. I don't know about this one.
He
It's
had
quite a bit.
safety goggles and everything. He was ready, but he just couldn't be even ready enough. Yeah, so we're seeing the end of Reg H. We got Stuttgart, Perth, Bogota, all those coming up here. That's the special championship, not the regional. And then Toronto will be pretty much the end of everybody caring about Reg H, and we'll all be moving on to Reg G again, cooking in the later half of December.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, get your Chen Paos ready, your Urshifus, your Wicked Blows, your Surging Strikes, Raging Bolt is coming back. Okay, you can keep your Arkelidon. That one's still okay. And of
Hmm.
course, Fluttermane and Chiyu, the patented Flutterfish duo. Remember that?
Oh, I remember it too well. Back to the terror that is those Mons.
Don't forget Calorexes. Don't forget your Miraidons.
We trade Dire Claw for a whole lot of power.
That's right. Power creep going back up, and all of these, your favorite mons that you got to play a little bit more in Regulation H. Yeah, man, those days are numbered. I don't know about I don't know about some of them. Um,
Yeah. Say goodbye to your Typhlosions and your Sneaslers.
uh, it was a good run though. Four
It was.
months, not bad.
It was. Um, but otherwise, the only other thing coming up is the GC,
That's important.
which the registration begins on the 28th, ends December 5th, and the GC itself runs from December 6th to December 8th.
Set your alarms. Don't forget to register.
Yeah, that is so important. If you're in the VGC Trainer School server on Discord, we will have a little like announcement ping. So if you have announcement pings on, you will be notified. Otherwise, let's see. The GC is giving out for this one 10,000 league points, a gold bottle cap, and an ability patch to everybody does three or more battles. So at least do three.
But as we all know, they're giving out a lot more than just items. Okay, they're giving you the meta itself. They're giving you meta development, right? Because as we've seen already in the last couple of global challenges, grand challenges, whatever you want to call this, we'll call it GC as you call it. Uh, the a lot of what you see from the GC players are going to take and steal, not steal, but borrow and adapt, or maybe just straight up copy what it is and bring that to their next regional. And we've seen that already uh, throughout the last couple months or so. Take
Mhm.
LAIC for example. Uh, First place and second place teams, the Sun Marco Silva's Sun team and Victor Medina's Rain team, right? Those are from Japanese players, okay? Those were from the global challenges as well, amongst other teams, and that is so important to keep tabs on. So whether you play it all or not, uh, make sure you keep tabs on what people are bringing and what is being brought there in general, because you never know. You might just see some of those teams in your next regional, and there's resources where you can see all of this. It's a lot of times, especially from the Japanese players, they'll always post it on Twitter. We did a whole video on this on the channel on our side. Just Liberty Note website is so great at looking at some of these teams from the GC. Best of one is like their specialty. They love it. They enjoy it. Closed team sheet is like right up their alley, and you get to see those teams. Not only just over there, but like we said, in these regionals, and they're doing so well. And this is what was unique, with Reg H. We did see it a little bit in like other formats, and even a little bit in Sword and Shield, somewhat, a little bit, but not to this degree. And it's quite amazing to see that. And now that people are aware of where these teams are coming from, based on like the first couple of global challenges and whatnot, I think more people are going to pay even more attention to this next GC just because it is at the end, and Toronto and some of those other regions are coming up. So
Right.
I do think
This is the
this is going to be a
culmination of the whole meta now.
yeah, exactly.
And it's always good to see what those Japanese guys are cooking, guys and gals, because they are always cooking the wildest stuff because they are just born in the best of one, chamber. Yeah, I'm super stoked to see what they're cooking and see if anything new comes out to change the meta or if it's gonna be more balanced Sneasler stuff.
Well, you'll always see that. Like
Yeah.
that has been here to stay
Oh yeah.
for forever, and that'll be true until the last day.
Oh, absolutely. But more than just that, we have like a lot of things we see a lot now, like Sunroom, various forms, Rain, and then the random teams with Tyranitar and Ninetales tacked on.
This
Um,
is yeah, and this is like the first. I don't know if it's like the first, but this is like the first format in a very very long time where all four weathers are strong and very much viable.
I
You know,
love that.
yeah. Previously, it's like, oh, you got your Kyogres, you got your Groudons, and slash Koraidons, and then that was it. Tyranitar can't compete with these Ubers,
Right.
right? Pelipper found a niche, found a home, but that's not a Kyogre, right? Um,
Imagine Gen 10 comes in with a legendary Snowbringer and Sandstormbringer.
oh, it's
That'd be,
over. It's just Weather Wars now, for
that would
sure.
be awesome. I mean, it kind of already was Weather Wars, but it nerfs the other two a little bit more.
Yeah, poor T-Tar. Tyrants are so cool. It's like
It
if you
is.
ask me of the four weather setters that we have right now with like Torkoal and T-Tar and the Pelipper and the Ninetales, just those four, I'm picking the T-Tar, man. This is a cooler
Yeah.
design overall. I love that. I love its stats distribution.
Everyone loves
Yeah.
T-Tar,
Oh, of
right?
course. Yeah,
So I'll
yeah.
take a moment, shout out T-Tar. I'm gonna put
Yeah,
a
man.
little applause there. That's pretty much it for Reg H, and then we'll see you in Reg G again.
Oh, you'll
I'm
be
really
seeing us.
excited for that double restricted format, but I'll be patient.
Oh. Oh yeah, you're gonna have to wait a while. Yeah, yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
wait 4 more months. The last part
Yeah.
of this.
Tell us more about yourself, sir. What sort of VGC services are you producing these days?
Well, even just before that, right? I just started playing like towards the not the end of Sword and Shield, maybe like the second year of Sword and Shield actually. This is like prime COVID, just trying to figure out something to do at home. Because we were, as teachers, we were doing like online learning, blended learning, whatever they want to call it. And we just weren't in the school building. So we were at home doing Zoom stuff. Okay. But after that, what else could we do? You couldn't really go out, uh, not that much. And so I picked up I picked up my Switch, right? And I realized, oh, I didn't beat Sword and Shield. Yeah, let me beat the game. And at this time I didn't even know what VGC was. I didn't even know those three letters at all. Nothing. I knew what Smogon was, right? Smogon. I see. I barely even knew that.
Same
Um,
thing.
yeah, okay. But I was just trying to figure out how to breed something. I don't remember what the Pokemon was, so I hopped on YouTube and I was, researching, just how to breed a certain Pokemon. And I came across a video from the Collinsville Regionals, and I didn't even know what this was. I just clicked it and I saw two people competing and I was like, oh, there's two Pokemon on the field here, and there's another two Pokemon on the field there. This is 2v2. Oh, this is kind of cool. So, I kind of finished that video. I was like, oh, this and then the recommended list kept on coming in, and the algorithm kept pouring in. And before I knew it, holy smokes, I killed the whole day just like watching these doubles games. And then eventually, I found, Aaron Zhang's channel, Cybertron VGC. I watched more of that. Then I found the Pokesports channel. I watched more of that. And I found That's a Plus One videos. I watched that and so on and so forth.
We have a
And
similar rabbit
yeah,
hole.
oh, yeah, yeah. Like it's all of these the algorithm recommendations. So
Those are the
I
best guys right there.
yeah, and then from YouTube, then it went into Twitch. I was like, oh, okay, they're playing on Twitch. Yeah, let me check some of these guys out. And then I found a couple players that were on there, right? Uh, what one noting, Joseph Ugarte, Joe UX9. We're both New Yorkers. We both have the name Joe. Okay, I was hanging around his Twitch streams a lot. And I got to watch Joe play a lot. And yeah, he's a very good player, excellent. Um, and then at some point, I started to try and play more VGC, and I even booked a couple sessions with Joe. I think I booked like I think two in general. So then from there, I kind of learned how to do EVs on Pokemon from him actually. So I've that believe it or not, a lot of people they always tell me, "Oh, I love how you do your EVs. I love how you teach it." And it's just something that I never really got to learn how to do. And they would this is a little bit later in the timeline, but once we started showing people how to do that, um, again, just to reiterate, a lot of what you got from me, I got from him. So shout outs to the OG Joe for passing down the real education. But yeah, but from him, then I played more VGC, and then I figured, you know what? Let me make a couple of videos myself. Let me see if I could do something because again, this is like still peak COVID. It's not much to do. So let's kill some time. Let's make some videos. So I just made like battle content videos, right? Just, make a team, put up a rental, showcase a couple battles, pretty much like what James Beck or Aaron Cybertron Zhang does, right? And I was picking up in some subs. Like I think just about 500 or so just from that. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then towards the later part of Sword and Shield, then I started to diversify the videos a little bit. Let me see what else people aren't doing. These guys, they're always doing like battle stuff, but they're not teaching in terms of like team building or creating EV spreads. So let me build my niche around that. And then that's when I really, really started getting a little bit more attention. And then
Seem
when,
like the perfect guy to
yeah,
be on our podcast.
and then whatchamacall, then Scarlet and Violet comes out, okay? And that's when I changed the direction of the channel. So instead of just, battle videos and instead of just showing people how to team build and how to do EV spreads, let's do some meta-analysis stuff. Let's make some tier list videos. Let's talk about this Pokemon. Let's spotlight this Pokemon. Let's create some other types of informational content that people could watch and understand. So this way they know what's going on right now in the competitive meta. So I got interested into it. I was like, oh, okay, this makes a lot of sense because a lot of team building, at least the way I view it in VGC, it's kind of like building a basketball team, right? And I mentioned how I always like to again we're two-time champions for that. I see VGC building 6 months is like building a sports team. You have roles that players play, and you also have roles that Pokemon play. And there's got to be some synergy, right? And that's what really caught my interest mostly for VGC is the synergy aspect. And then when it also came down to it, I saw the game as like chess, but with RNG a little bit, right? So during the springtime when I'm not doing basketball, I just coach chess. And to me, I see VGC in that aspect too. It's like chess, but with RNG. And because I've played chess for so long, and because I coached that too during the off season, I was able to pick up the game quite quickly. Okay, even more maybe than the average person. So then fast forward to this past year, we've just been creating videos just all around that, like informational content. We still do some battle videos, right? We decrease those a little bit, but put out more in terms of educating the masses because there's a lot of stuff that's in VGC that's just not really explained or made public for obvious reasons. But I felt like we could provide more, and we have. And the fact that the channel is close to 10,000 subs is already amazing. Like this was never the goal. Like
Oh
when I first
yeah.
started, it was never the goal, but it ended up being that way just because I guess people liked watching what I was doing. And again, and then from there, people started booking what team building sessions, coaching sessions. I offered it as a perk to the channel. Yeah, might as well. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe I might get one. Maybe I might get a couple. And I got a lot. And when we built these teams during our sessions, these guys are taking my teams and they're top cutting tournaments. They're topping, they're winning these online limitless tournaments. Even your tournaments, right? VGC Trainer School. Like I've had a few teams on there that people have used to top cut and do very well. So even though
Nice.
I can't play in a regional and I can't play in these tournaments because I don't have the time, the it lives on through you guys. When you borrow my teams and you use them and you do well with them, means we did something right and we helped someone when they needed it. And that's what we have done with the channel up until this point.
I love that. I'm happy that you joined some of our tours. That's cool.
Well, not me. Well, not
Oh,
me specifically, but
somebody
our
used your teams
teams.
on them?
Yeah. Our
Oh,
teams have
okay.
been in your tours. Yes, that's what I meant. Because people have been able to use them and get good results there.
Nice. We do have some pretty awesome tours. And speaking of those tours, somebody I don't shout out enough on this podcast is Mike Titan, or Michael Titanic, as he's known, as our treasurer of the server. All praise to him for being able to come up with the prize pool money that makes things so great, and all the rest of the staff, including AOX and Parenthetical, for being amazing tourney organizers.
How about we just jump right into Sacramento? Let's do it, man.
Yeah. And just to cover my own butt, I've heard from Sacramento locals that they do say sack. Okay, I'm not being
Oh yeah.
cringe. They invented it. They say it. Okay. Okay. Let's look at the lab mouse. That's what I look at though. I look at lab mouse.
Oh
It's my
yeah.
favorite.
Absolutely. Yes. We love Lab Mouse.
hmm Shout out to Tim, creator of Lab Mouse. He has blessed us all. It was an amazing finals to watch. I just want to say, Carson against Joe Ugarte was like just such an incredible match. I was really hoping to see Typhlosion take a win. When Joe used Ice Spinner Dragonite on his own jump left to end the terrain so that the expanding force could only single target, that was like one of the highlights of all VGC, in my opinion. Like, sure, he didn't take
And
the set, but he did win that battle, and it was incredible.
when I was watching that, I figured, can he do this? Like I actually thought he might do that, but I wasn't sure if he was actually going to do it, and he did it. I was like, oh my god, he actually did. To me, I thought it was like his best available play, and I've done plays
Yeah.
like that similarly, where like for example, if I didn't want to get spored by an Amoonguss like during the Dynamax era, I
Oh
would
yeah.
I would use my Dusclops and burn my special attacker just so that I wouldn't get slept. Right?
Yeah,
And
I think I saw. No way. I don't know if it was Joe or not, but the side will-o-wisp last year was one of the finals on stream too. It was like an Arcanine, but those are just fun. I just love anything where you're just like damaging yourself as the optimal play. It's so funny. Especially
yeah,
killing yourself with a 4 times super effective move.
if it wins you the game, you got to go for it. And if it gives you the best chance to win you the game, you might as well because if you don't, you lose anyway, right? So it just made sense. And again, best available play. It's hard to do when you're on that stage in that moment with finals on the line.
That's what
But
it takes to get there, really.
hmm
Seeing those plays and making them.
exactly.
Any other thoughts you have about these teams? We could just start attacking them from top eight or so. Any that stick out to you?
Well, I don't know about like stick out, but just in terms of what we see from the results, how about top eight? Like just right off the bat, just from looking at these, no Rillaboom. Did you know that?
Wow,
Yeah, no Rillaboom. And believe it or not, these last couple of tours,
I didn't even realize.
the Rillaboom, yeah, the Rillaboom's gone down in usage.
That's
Day one was
crazy.
like, yeah, like when we did a video on this, when we did the recap, day two, Rillaboom, normally, right up there with Sneasler,
Yeah,
Goldengo, and
wasn't it
whatnot.
like top three at Latin America?
The in day one, yeah, but as you
day
go into
one.
day two, I'm talking about sack here. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. I'm just
yeah,
saying like the difference from then to sack is huge.
yeah, it's gone down, and the people are leaning towards the Mungus Incineroar backbone a little bit more now. The classic, intimidate, fake out, redirection, and trick
Mm.
room matchup. And funny enough, as Rillaboom has gone down, you know who went back up?
Sneasler,
Now, well,
Incineroar.
there it is, Incineroar. So
Yeah.
for a while, the last, I would say 2, 3 months or so, well, not counting like these last couple of weeks, Incineroar is floating around 25, 27% usage. Just a little outside the top six, or at the bottom part of the top six. But now it's back up into the upper 30s. Okay. And that's important to note, because a lot people were saying, throughout most of the format, oh, instant's gone down, power creep is lower, not as much value, and yet here we are at the end of the format, and Incineroar usage back up to number 3, and
Yeah.
that's important, and it makes sense, uh, just because think about it, Sneasler gets intimidated, and oh, by the way, you know who else has gone down besides the Rillaboom? The Gambit. Um,
True,
the
yes.
Gambit.
Yep.
Look at the top 16. How many King
Dude, it's
Gambits you
crazy
see?
that in top 16 there's not even any Rillaboom, but
Yeah,
yeah, Gambit is only on the second place team.
that's it. That's it. And same
Yeah,
with Rillaboom. Do
Joe
you see another
representing.
Rillaboom? Do you see another
There's
Rillaboom?
no Rillabooms in top 16.
I don't see it unless I'm blind.
Top
So
17th place is the first Rillaboom.
that's it. Amazing, right? And look how much Amoonguss and Incineroar there are. A lot. So it just that's already like the first thing that you got to take a look at. And with Gambit and Rillaboom down and Incineroar up, well, who are we? Why is Incineroar up? I mean, you look at Sneasler, that gets intimidated. Besides if they're white herb or not, uh, the Dragonite, it's not inner focus these days. It's multi-scale. So
Even
yeah.
Talonflame, we're seeing a lot more Talonflame than we used to.
Oh
And
yeah,
it
Be-
won.
because look at that key offensive, hyper offensive cord. You got Talonflame with the Indeedee terrain user, the Sneasler, and the Blood Moon. That's your standard, not your standard, but that's like your premier hyper offensive uh, core right now. Those four. You click Tailwind, you click Hyper Voice, you click Tailwind, you click Expanding Force, and then something else comes in the back. Whichever
Yeah.
one you lead with. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of
Yeah.
damage.
And I
And
think people don't realize the value it serves as a Sneasler counter too. The dual wing beat kills
yeah,
through Sash.
that was the adjustment. It was Brave Bird for a while, and then we went into dual wing beat for that reason.
Hmm.
Just to get around the sash. And the Talonflame has been very good at doing that. That core will carry on into the next couple of events until the end.
It's funny how I
Talonflame.
wanted to use Talonflame, but I was like, oh, well, there's so much psychic terrain out there. I don't want my dual wing beats to not hit anything. And it's like, clearly I'm wrong because the first place team had that combo on it.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the difference it makes. If I'd played more VGC, maybe I'd have seen it coming.
Click the Tailwind button.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Oh man. But how about these rain teams? There's so many different ways to play in Arkelid and Rain right now.
I'm surprised that the top rain team included a Palafin and didn't have our Chaladon.
David. David Hutner. Yeah. You know what that looks like? That looks like Regulation A, but
Yeah.
take out your Arcanine and put in Incineroar.
Right.
You know, it
Crazy. But the haze is now like more useful than ever on Palafin.
of course, and Hydreigon is actually in an interesting spot too. We did a small, like, it was within our video when we talked about niche Pokemon that are good right now to use, and we briefly spotlighted Hydreigon at the end because we gave it an honorable mention. We thought it could be good just because there's so much more Blood Moon now, and then there's Goldengo, and the fact that you can snarl them is important,
Yeah.
and you just cripple them. They don't do damage. Typhlosion, Charizard. And you are a dragon type. So the sun Zard stuff, the fire stuff, you can resist that. You're pretty bulky, so
It's a great typing right now.
yeah, and levitate is important. Like we saw, like you can't click a ground move into this, so you could go like Terra Fire, Terra Steel, and not really have to worry about the ground weakness. And
Yeah,
yep,
the Terra Ghost and the same idea with the steel is like this mon is a one mon trick room counter. Like, yeah, you are resisting fire. You can Terra away from facade. You can't be headlong rushed or earthquaked. You snarl everything.
yeah,
Pretty
exactly.
cool.
Yeah, and he's not the only levitate user that also had an impact here. We're gonna release this video soon, but take a look down at 49th place. Look at that team. It's Jonathan Duran's team. What do you notice on there that stands out?
The Bronzong. I had a friend talking about
I
Bronzong a lot.
Yeah, look at that Bronzong set though. That's a cool set. It's got Stealth Rock and Ice Spinner along with
Whoa.
Gyro. Right, and remember, Stealth Rock is like another one of those rising techs that we're seeing at the moment. We featured it a couple of weeks ago with Stealth Rock Clefairy from the Buenos Aires special event from Sebastian. And now we also saw it here a couple times. One from this team with Bronzong, and two from Pengi, Mr. Mott, Stefan Mott, right? He had the Garganical, which we can talk about in a second, also had Stealth Rock. And the Stealth Rock does a lot, uh, you know, into the Zard matchup and the Incineroars and the Torkoals too. And it not only breaks Focus Sash on Sneasel, but it breaks multi-skill on Dragonite, right?
Yeah,
And
that's really useful right now. They're and like Charizards are so popular. Volcarona,
yep, another one. And then again, Levitate. And again, you're a steel type of Levitate. What is the
true.
Blood Moon trying? What is the Blood Moon clicking into you? You can't click Earth
Nothing.
Power.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
walling it. It's
you
amazing.
just wall it
As long as you
exactly.
deal with Torkoal,
That's
you're
why there's Terra Fire on it.
fire fire. Yep. Same logic as that uh Hydreigon. If you got coverage for that normal ground and fire some way or another, that you're turning that into a 50-50, that's all it takes to juke someone out for the last one or two turns of Trick Room.
Exactly. And again, speaking on Stefan's team, the Garganical, the the click on it and look at the
I
item on
heard
that.
about this. It has the moringa berry that the
Yes.
opponent had to call a judge to find out what it does.
I watched that video. I was like, oh my goodness, that is a funny story. Yeah, like,
That's
Judge, what
hilarious.
is this? Is this item real?
Yeah, standard Garganical, cutting wide guard with Stealth Rock and the moringa berry. So is it the other one's called like Keen Berry or Keel Berry or something, which is the defensive version of Moringa Berry? So Moringa, you get hit by a special attack, you raise your special defense. The Keel opposite. You get hit by a physical attack, you raise your defense, which are berries I have read one time and forgot about.
And he capitalized on that too. So it's such a funny result
I
and
love that.
purifying salt, such a good ability.
Yeah,
You don't care about
respect.
Sneasler.
Yeah, that's amazing. Mad respect for seeing that as a niche in the current meta and pulling it off. I mean, 8-3 is a pretty respectable score.
Oh, for sure.
Um, and Pangape's a pretty cool guy. A few times I've met him, real class act kind of guy.
He was on our channel a couple times back in Sword and Shield. I haven't really brought him back in Scarlet and Violet. I gotta ask him one time um, before this generation is done to let's get him on as a guest as a little blast from the past because it's been a couple of years since I had him in. We gotta feature this at some point. Maybe he'll agree. But here's
And
another
then I'm
neat.
looking right there also at Weavile, which
I was
I
just
know
gonna mention that.
I
Listen,
know we're down in the 40s, but like, come on,
we
that's so
no no no
cool.
no. Listen. It's actually legit because we also spotlighted this a couple days ago. Like Weavile, depending on who you put with it, actually is quite cool because look at that. Do you know Weavile's base speed?
What it's like 126 or
Yeah,
something
oh,
like that.
yeah, what? And well, I think you were one off. It might be 125, but who's that? Who's Who does Weavile outspeed?
Sneasler at
Exact.
120.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it is 125. I was
Ooh,
right.
icy wind. He can drop his speed.
And break his sash, right?
Yeah,
And
break the
then
sash.
and then you got beat up. So you can do this with Annihilate. And even though it's not on this team, you could do that with Arcaladon. And
That's
it's quite
fun.
yeah, and then you also get Ice Spinner, you can blow up terrain, you can also knock off, remove an item with Fake Out, just like Incineroar, of course. And Pickpocket is so funny. I don't
Oh
know if
my
you
gosh. And you
yeah,
always earn sash anyway, so you have an item availability usually.
yeah. So you can just steal like an assault vest from an Arcaladon if they just make contact with you, and then oh thanks.
It's amazing.
It's so funny. Yeah, so it's quite versatile when you think about it. And look how many Dragonites are running around. You can just click your ice move on that, break the multi-scale, and it just can't really do a whole lot if you put it in the right spot. So it's another one of those niche mons that is quite interesting. I don't think you've seen the last of Weavile.
All these mods are so fun. They make me wish Reg H was longer. I just want to go to more things with these teams. I brought a pledge team to Sacramento, and I did it just because it was really fun. I'd been playing with it a lot, and personally, I've always played Tailwind and Trick Room for so long that I wanted to have like a new speed control, and I still think it's pretty good. I just think like I missed what the I just was real close on some games, but it's not like OP. It's not meta for anything. I just think it was a fun strategy, so I wanted to bring it. But that's what I appreciate about Reg H is that there's so many fun strategies you can do.
Listen, there's only one strategy you need in Regulation G. Just click the Wicked Blow button or the
Yeah.
Surging Strikes. That's all you gotta do. Why you gotta make it complicated?
And then do the same with your restricted. You got Click Astral Barrage, Icicle Spear, Water Spout.
Pokemon is very simple. You guys just insist on making it complicated.
Click the good buttons.
But looking still at some of these results, just again some of the variances on some of these like what looks like a standard team is also quite interesting. So if you look, the that rain team, okay, the newest, the hottest rain team right now, the Pelipper, the Sinistra, the Ursaluna, and the Arcaladon with the D Knight and the Goldango. That one is from Japan, right? Rise of
Looking
Bets.
at the Aaron Brock, I think is the one with the topped with it.
Yeah, but
You
he's
got the
not the only
highest
one.
with it.
Right,
Right,
right.
right.
But if you look carefully, there's others that are using it too. And the thing is, it's not the same sets. They're mixing it up.
Hmm.
So if you look at what Aaron Brock is using, right? He's got the scarf on the Golden Angle. That's standard. And then the D Knight, Haze, Tailwind, Terra Fairy, Wide Guard on the Pelipper. Okay, Weather Ball there.
Yeah,
Uh,
wide guard's pretty unique.
Yeah, like this is fine. And then Body Press and Snarl and the Arcaladon and stuff. But then
No
if you look at
dragon, no
yeah,
Draco
no
Meteor.
dragon, no dragon move. Like I had to like do a double take. Wait a second, no dragon move. Hold on, Flash Cannon, E shot, Body Press, and Snarl. Okay, I respect the set. I'm not saying
Yeah.
there's anything wrong with it. Like that's good, but again,
Guess
no,
he
no,
does have one mon on his team that's only doing dragon, so kind of
right.
makes sense.
Now look at the next one. Look at Joji Kaeda's team. Okay, and that one, look at the Terra. Well, they both had Terra bug, but that one has the dragon move there. That one does not have Snarl.
Right. And he
Okay.
doesn't have wide guard.
Right, and he doesn't have wide guard. Exactly. So that's the other difference. He's got Tailwind instead. So two Tailwind users here. And if you go even further, you'll see even more variance. All right, look at Alex's at Tub Nation. Let's peep him. Okay, that
Really,
one,
this team just
yeah.
makes itself. It's like what's really good right now.
Yeah, there's like the six is fine. It's just how do you want to play some of these, sets? Do you want Tailwind? Do you want Wide Guard? Do you want a different Terra? Like he's got Terra Steel Dragonite instead of Terra Fairy. Perfectly fine, you
I
know?
like how standard this Sinistra has become because I was using these four moves in like the when it first came out.
Yeah.
Just makes sense.
Yeah, matcha gotcha. You burn things. Life dew, you get your healing for your Ursaluna, your Arkellan, your Dragonite, get back your multi-scale. Speed control with Trick Room. It's just very very versatile, and in some cases, like on a team like this, better than Amoongus because
Yeah,
of what you can do besides clicking the spore button.
right. It has a really nice speed. It's like really in the middle. Stats are great.
Yeah, it's quite the interesting stuff. Now, how about your Dondozo players?
Don Dozo's been
Mm.
kind of been put down by Dragonite.
Well, yeah, there's a couple here. It's not like completely dead. You still got
I mean, yeah, my good
so
friend Diamond with his Mudshot Cyclizar did pretty well with it
oh
today
my
too.
God, look what is this? Yeah, I asked him like, can we use this team for the channel? Okay. I don't think I got an answer yet, but
I'm sure
hopefully,
he would.
yeah,
I don't know. He seems like the guy who would be interested.
yeah, why not? And yeah, like yeah, I want to use this. Like I don't think I'm ever gonna get another chance. Just given what we're looking at in terms of the calendar to use Cyclizar in a VGC format. Like sure, I can just do it, but I gotta have a reason to do it. Right? Mr.
Yeah.
Diamond is giving me a reason to do it, so I wanna do it. Um,
Yodam did pretty good. I just wanted to shout out Yodam 56 with the choice specs kilowatt.
Yo, listen, that's another one of those niche picks. Kilo Watchel, competitive, again a flying type too, right? So
Yeah.
that thing hits hard. That is no slouch.
Pretty much the best mon to be disc waking with, and like the really the only good one, I think. And that choice specs really makes it worth it.
Yeah, it's still like very very strong. But just like in terms of like some other archetypes, like the Porygon balance stuff, that's still like working. It's still pretty good, you know.
Hey, look, man, I like Reg G, but I'm still sad. I'm mourning Reg H already.
Well, you don't want to bring Porygon?
Porygon's coming to Reg G.
Yeah, yeah, why not? Listen, Urshifu has to watch out for Ghost. You know,
Yeah, the
can't
Ghost
just
Terra.
can't just click close combat every day, right? So,
Not if
and
you're a
then
water Urshifu, but the dark one.
yeah, but I do like the Porygon 2 balance consistency, for a while now. I think that's been solid along with
It's a cool
the
team.
the Arceladon Rain stuff. There's like 12 different ways to play Arceladon Rain. They besides just Pelipper, Arc, the other four, it really just depends on the player. But it's nice to see the Sinistcha Ursaluna rise, but your standard Arc Rain team, with the Goldango, the the um the Incineroar, the Basculegion, look at 10th place there, Chase Mateo. That team, I say this in the other videos, that six was like one of the first rain teams made in regulation
Yeah,
age, like late
that was like
August.
day one.
Yeah, and it's still good even right now. Like you
Yeah,
don't usually don't see that. Usually there's like an adaptation. Oh, this thing fell off. But this six is still good even right now.
this six is like the epitome of Reg H to me.
Right? Yeah. Like if I had to like pick like five teams to summarize regulation, this is one of them. Just
Mhm.
Basque Legion, clicking water moves in the rain with the adaptability option if you want to go that route. It's
Click
crazy.
electroshock, click electroshock, click electroshock.
Oh yeah, why not? That thing is so good. Body press, all the damage. So nice to see Arc have good use. But people have evolved the Arcellen and stuff. Like you don't have to just play that thing in rain. You could play it outside of rain too.
Yeah,
And
the mon's insane.
yes, the power herb sets, right? That started to come about a
I
little
think
bit
that's
later on.
one of the mons that really you don't really see in Reg G because of Urshifu. But if Urshifu didn't exist, it would be like in every meta.
Well, in the beginning, people were because Kyogre and Tornadus were there, so you could still set the rain, and you could still click Electro Shot. It was still like okay.
True,
Yeah, that
just
was
not
like
to
your
the
core.
same level.
No, no, not like this.
Now it's
Yeah,
like not. That was a big checks,
yeah,
Urshifu.
but it's good that again, Arkellen's a good mon. It's nice to see that it's still here, even right now, and it'll probably come back a little bit in Reg G 2.0 as we'll call it, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I did not expect to see here. Like, how about Sylveon? there's some good results here with some Sylveon players. Like 50th place Joshua, Amelia Forbes. They also brought back Sylveon a little bit. Shout outs to Amelia, long time. We haven't seen them in a bit, but they came back here. But 50th place Joshua, Alcocer, I want to say it. Look at that Sylveon. With the Chomp and the Talonflame and the Goldengo. Look, this is the same thing. This person is playing Regulation A, just with the
Right.
Sneasler over here.
Man, I was so close to bringing Sylveon to Sacramento.
Specs Hyper Voice, man.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It was the specs one too. Like you got to do it. It's so good.
Yeah, it's like the Flutter Mane ended this Pokemon, but and not and Sneasler also made this thing not playable mostly,
Hmm.
but nice to see at least one little result, or technically two, in this tour. I'll tell you what, who also had a little bit of a resurgence. Garchomp, right?
Yeah,
For yeah, that thing was falling a little bit, quite a lot actually, because of Scale Shot D-Knight, but because Rillaboom fell quite a bit, that gave Garchomp a little bit more of an opening to rise. And I'm not even just talking about Joe's team. Okay,
yeah,
there's
and
three Chomps in the top eight, by the way. So
it's got
just
Sneaslers to hunt and
yeah,
break
like you.
sashes with its ability.
Right, right. Again, rough skin is good. You hit the ground move, the sneezer dies, and you look at that fourth place team: Akil Goel, Incin Amoonguss Backbone, Corviknight, Garchomp, classic combo. Then you add Sneasler Arc, and this is one of those Arkellan Rain teams that does not need a Pelipper. I said Rain. No, that's not what I meant. I'm sorry. They're just the Power Herb set that doesn't need
Right.
Rain is what I meant. Yeah. So look at this. Like I still think this is a really good team. You have
Terra
not seen the
Dragon
last of
is
it.
a unique one. That's cool. I mean, it
Y-
does have totally different weaknesses than it normally does.
Yeah, I want to see where Chomp goes into Toronto. Maybe Chomp just might have the last out. Look at this loaded dice skill shot from Kalian Brown. Okay, seventh place there. So skill shot D Knight, I'll match you. Skill shot Garchomp with loaded dice.
That's amazing. I'm surprised not to see that more.
Tailwind Hydreigon too. Like this is like an old regulation A core. Hydreigon, Garchomp, Goldengo, Amoonguss, right? Tailwind Hydreigon with goggles, and then Snarl. Okay, like support Hydreigon here,
Yeah,
and
I like
and
it.
yeah, and then your big damage dealer is your Goldengo. Just set this thing up, with Instant, Fake Out, or Amoonguss redirection. Click the nasty plot, make it rain button, and things melt. And then look, it's Terra Flying too, so Earthquake plus make it rain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Garchomp Goldingo is like the killers here, and you're supporting them with these four great support mons.
Make it quake, as
Mhm.
as we'll call it. Make it quake.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good team.
Yeah.
Very
Very,
fun.
very, very solid indeed. And then even the ones that didn't make top eight, like there's still like so many 8-3 Garchomp teams. And besides, like again, 50th place we saw it with the Sylveon, and like some balance of like again, just Garchomp Goldango Tailwind user is still like solid. Okay, and I don't think we've seen the last of it at all. I think it'll still
Yeah,
be a
definitely.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Are you a hard trick room fan?
I don't use it myself, but I don't like disrespect it. It's a
Ninth
viable
place.
strategy.
Ninth place, Brian Collins' team. That looks like the Tapo Wapo team that
Yeah,
he
got
got.
a Hatterene back on the menu.
Look at this, right? Indeedee Hatterene, Torkoal, Ursaluna, your classic hard trick room. You know what's funny about hard trick room? Again, it's like one of those teams. Like, yeah, you can definitely get 6-3 and earn some CP and walk out and not have to, stress too much. But it's hard to like get day two. It's hard to like see hard trick room up here so high. But
Seems like there's always
here
one
we
or
are.
two that they manage to not go against any like super hard combos or counters, but also the player difference that allows them to beat the
Yeah,
combo
it's
counter when
it's
it happens.
yeah, it's relatively linear, and just in terms of how the playstyle is. Like, okay, you want to
Yeah.
redirect, set trick room. Okay, you got 4 turns left. Bring in the Torkoal or Saluna and start going ham. Yeah, that's like the basic stuff. But some of these options that you have to like put on the team to make all the difference is quite interesting. And the fact that Brian was able to take what looks like almost relatively standard, hard trick room team. Yes, there's a mouse ult here. Topo also ran that.
Yeah, the
The
offensive
yeah,
mouse hole, I love that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just taunt the stupid Electabuzzes and whatnot, and just nuke something with population bomb is cool. Like the fact that we have this hard trick room team this high is an achievement for the archetype in itself.
Yeah.
Yes, we got the Porygon 2 balance stuff, but to see hard trick room up here, very, very interesting in itself.
Yeah, really exciting tournament. Just a great one to watch.
Yeah, and then like in terms of dragons too, like okay, you know what you're getting with Dragonite. You know, you know what you're getting with Archelon. Those are your top two. Okay, we got Garchomp. Sure, maybe a little bit more stronger results than normal,
Right.
but
Mega
there,
Dragon.
yeah, and now you got a little bit of Hydreigon. You know who else is still always managing to find top cuts? Even though it doesn't like win or do like super super amazing. How about Kamo? Like there was quite a few Kamo teams here, and it's
Yeah.
and it
I thought you
always
might say
finds a way.
backs too, but I think there's more combos.
Yeah, like this Pokemon, it keeps finding ways to find a couple slots in day two because it's actually good. The fighting coverage is great for the Arc matchup. You're a
Yeah,
dragon type, so the
so
Fire
good.
Water Grass is not really going to do all that much. We saw top four result from LEIC from Ashton, and now we have a little bit more of a carryover here. I know there's no like top four, top eight result, but look, 17, 9-3 record from Karan.
Yeah, I was just looking at that team and there's a drum beating on the Rillaboom.
Yeah, yeah, the
All right.
drum beating. I saw that. Yeah, oh, there's a tech. Then you've
Yeah.
got, Michael Zhang, with the A3, with the classic Primarina Volcarona Sinistcha idea there. Your Fire Water Grass stuff. So that works. I still think there's some adjustments that can be made there, but to get A3 with this, yeah, that's good. And then Noah Gardner here, what looks like a balanced trick room idea with the Ursaluna. And then Kamo San just in general, like look how many Tyrannitars there are with these Kamo teams. Like this is what helped Kamo a lot, actually. Just the sand idea with Overcoat, get around Amoonguss too.
Yeah. It's like
Right.
it's one of them, you know.
Yeah, and I
Also
think I think we haven't seen the last of Kamo either.
at
So
least not until Reg H is over.
yeah, exactly. And it's just overall like again, just every week. The one cool thing about this form is like every week you find some niche Pokemon that can do well and thrive, and then oh, we got a new archetype. Every week. Okay, maybe not every week. Every other like 2 weeks, you know. So it's quite interesting. It's been a good format. There was always something new every other week, which is great. It means a lot of Pokemon came out to play, and
Yeah.
and 4 months I think was correct for this one. I think 2 would have been too short. 3 still a little bit more. I think 4 is appropriate for
War
this
feels
type
pretty
of
good
format.
for every format from now
Actually,
on.
yeah, yeah, I think so too. Like we got Charizard teams now. Nobody was using this thing uh before recent weeks. So nice
Yeah.
to see
It's like the
Zard
first
now.
format for this generation that I've seen Charizard, I think.
Yeah, now you have the game plan for that. It didn't do well actually in this tour. It had a couple spots, but not that much. Not like Marco, piloting that thing. But
Right. I
yeah,
expected it to come up more, but I think LAIC it was just real hard looked at. Like people had something for that triple fire trick room team.
let's see what EU presents us because there's a couple of these Zard teams like 7-4. Like look at okay, yeah. Like even look at 75th. Look at 75th place there. Look at that Zard team. It's got Torkoal, yes. And you've got Hisui and Lilligant. Okay. You got the fast mode. But then you got Blood Moon, Ursaluna, and Furgraf. How about that? Look at that. Calvin Coates.
I love those two mons together.
Jesus. Choice Scarf Zard, right? With all of this. And then you add the Zoroark. with flamethrower there. Oh, is that a Charizard or is that a Zoroark? Oh no. And then hyper voice too. Oh no, is that a Zoroark? Is that a Blood Moon? I don't know.
True. Could be either. You could have hyper voice on the fridge wrap.
Oh
Be
no.
really good.
Yeah, and then it's a Torkoal, right? Oh, Torkoal flamethrower. Oh yeah, I could see that. Oh wait, that's not a Torkoal. He went before me. Oh
When
no.
Zoroark, or this is when fridge wrap uses hyper voice, and they're like, "You have a team sheet error."
Oh man. And Zoroark, again, that's another Pokemon. Like that thing is like perfect for global challenge, grand challenge. But and
Really, yeah.
yeah, because it's like, oh man, I only got one turn to get this right. Is that a Zoroark? Is that not? And then look, now it's doing so well in best of three, which is crazy. Like this thing always finds like some results in best of three, which is kind of cool. You're not, I don't know how many Zoroarks are going to be played in Regulation G, but the fact that it got, good airtime in Reg H is nice.
There's three Charizards down here in 75th.
Yeah. Yeah, like again, Zard, like there again, it got some spots here. Yeah, like 75, 76, 77. Like Keanu brought the Marco Zard stuff, and then after that, Emmanuel. Now he's just adding Dragonite here with Ursaluna. Sure, why not?
Looks
Um,
like Dondozo was 33rd. Ori Braverman.
right, right. That's like another one where like, okay, screens Dozo with D Knight. That one's like
Right,
pretty
and I
classic.
mean Tatsugiri Dozo, because obviously we had
Yeah,
Solo Dozo higher up.
right, right, right. Exactly. And then, Final Gambit Ape, nuke something, go into Tatsugiri. Coaching, right? Oh no, no, it's not coaching. Okay. Yeah, it's just close combat, Final Gambit, and then the U-turn there. So I don't know. Have we seen the last of Dozo? I don't think so. It hasn't really had a great format besides maybe the first couple weeks. Just because so many people were bringing Haze and Clear Smog. But we'll see what happens as we get into Toronto. There'll be maybe Dondozo might have the last laugh. You never know.
I hope not.
Oh man.
But yeah, I think we've covered a lot, and I really appreciate your input. You've really made it a great cover.
Yeah, no worries. And again, if you want it, like we talk a little bit more about just the tournament in general, like over on our side. Uh, so if for those listening, if you want a little bit more, feel free to check out that video on our Sacramento recap. We 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 really dive into the tournament results
Your
because
YouTube channel
yeah,
name is CloverBells, right?
that's right.
Okay,
Yeah,
so everybody listening.
yeah. We'll be paying close attention to the next few events, of course, and the GC, just to make sure nothing takes you by surprise, um, and just giving you information that maybe you might not see or get elsewhere. And if I can help even one person, right, with even one little thing, then that's all that matters. I will have
I
made
got a
an
feeling
impact.
that that's going to be at least me because I'm going to come check it out. That's one person.
Excellent.
But yeah, thanks for a lot for being on, and thanks for everybody who's tuned in for making it this far into the episode. And I
Oh, for
also want
sure.
to say if anybody has any feedback or wants to be a part of the podcast, vgctspodcast@gmail.com. But thank you, Joseph. Appreciate you. We're going to call it a night here. Maybe we'll be hearing from you again sometime.
Okay.
Class dismissed.
Alrighty.